No.
Amazon says it's not a very large online platform.
So funny. Their argument makes a little bit more sense when we get into it. It's still lame, dumb, whatever. But anyways, Amazon is challenging its classification as a very large online platform under the EU's Digital Services Act, which is kind of a big point. This is not an American thing, which defines a very large online platform as any company that reaches at least 10% of the EU's population, or around 45 million people every month.
If you reach 45 million people every month, I think we can all agree
you're probably a very large online
you're
platform.
a very large online platform, but please do go on.
They include Google Play, Meta, Twitter, YouTube, Apple's App Store, Alibaba's AliExpress, and German retailer Zalando. The classification would require Amazon to meet elevated compliance standards for privacy, transparency, and protection of minors. And Amazon does not want to protect minors. So Amazon argues that, as a retailer, it should not be regulated like a social platform. It also argues that it is not the largest retailer in any of the EU countries where it operates, and none of these largest retailers in each European country has been designated as a VLOP. They say that this unfairly singles out Amazon with onerous administrative obligations. So they're trying to treat the individual countries instead of addressing the EU as the unified countries that it literally is, which is funny.
Man, I'm kind of coming around to their argument a little bit.
I'm not.
Okay.
Because this is a European Union thing and not a Germany.
Okay,
thing.
well, let's get through the
because
the
they're
notes,
talking about how
then.
many people it reaches in the EU.
Why don't you get through the notes first?
Anyways, yeah. While Amazon isn't the largest retailer in any EU country, it is the largest online retailer in all but one of 5 of the most populous EU countries. So those other larger retailers are because they have physical locations.
I see.
The largest retailer in Europe is the German Schwarz Group, who owns supermarket chain Lidl. I've never actually tried to pronounce it out loud.
LIDL, no idea.
Lidl, something like that.
Sure.
And department store
definitely
chain
not large.
Kaufland. The Schwarz Group bought in 150 billion brought in
revenue.
150 billion US dollars in 2021, compared to Amazon's 470 billion dollars in revenue in the same year. The vast majority of that income came from in-person purchases, not online.
So hold on a second. Amazon revenue, sorry, what was that, 2021?
Yes.
I mean, if that's
Is that global?
Yeah, if that's their total revenue worldwide, which it does appear to be, I mean, then yeah, I kind of get their point. Just the fact that they happen to be an online company.
No, they're saying, okay.
But why doesn't Schwarz Group have to deal with this?
The statement behind what they're saying is that if it reaches 10% of the EU population, or 45 million people, at no point in time do they define individual countries within the EU. And then Amazon goes, well, we're not big because we're not the biggest in individual countries. Except they are the biggest online platform in those individual countries, even when you take the retail arm of the other ones. And it was never about the individual countries. It's about the EU.
I mean, I guess it all depends on, really what these regulations are after, right? Like if it's just, the protection of minors or whatever else, then yeah, I mean, if you're not an online platform, then it's not really relevant to you. And if you are an online platform, then you should have to take care of that.
I'm going to flip slightly on the other side and say that they say that it's about privacy, transparency, and the protection of minors. But as everyone knows, laws will say they're about whatever, and then attempt to accomplish a wide range of other unrelated things.
But if one of the wide range of unrelated things is to make life more difficult for Amazon...
Yeah, I don't care at all.
It's kind of hard to feel bad for them.
Yeah.
With that said, I think that this point about, the German Schwarz Group, also being an enormous conglomerate and probably also needing some... kicks in the shin somewhere along the line.
I'm not against them also having kicks in the shin, but I'm pretty sure part of the point of this is not chomping down on retailers that are country specific.
Right.
And specific because you want like the uniqueness of countries. You want the smaller, like, we serve this one country really well, companies to still be okay and not to bother them. But to add some oversight to companies that are trying to go wide reaching, which is why this is, again, has literally nothing to do with any of the individual countries within Europe, and has very specifically things to do about the population that is across the EU as a whole. Which is, I believe, like the whole point.
Yeah, and it's also a little disingenuous for Amazon to try to classify themselves as a retailer. AWS is not retail. What percentage of their business is AWS now? I'd be very curious to know. In the fourth quarter, AWS generated $21.4 billion in revenue, representing 14% of Amazon's total revenue. So I guess they are still a retailer. But for them to go, oh, mercy me, how could you possibly treat us like an online platform when really we're just the infrastructure that online platforms use? We should have no responsibility for any of that. We're a retailer.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so to go back to your argument,
I'm not sure what my argument is at this point, but
I've never understood it really the whole time. But
well,
that's okay.
I'm not sure. I'm saying this is a gray area. I'm saying
I
that
don't think so. Because,
sure.
Amazon's argument is they're saying, like, we're not the largest retailer in any of these countries. But again, they're the largest online retailer in all but 5.
Sure.
And they're competing against in-store sales, which probably don't have... There's like no
online
way
component.
They have as many issues with things like privacy and whatnot. They have some.
Yeah.
There's video cameras in there.
Sure.
They might track card sales.
Sure.
There's things
they
like...
can collect
there's
data
things like
from
loyalty
people.
programs.
Absolutely.
There's been stuff in the news for many, many years about like certain stores knowing that people are pregnant before like their partners do and stuff because of their shopping habits and like different things like that. Stores can get creepy. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But it's a different ball game.
And they also do run social platforms.
Yeah.
Twitch.com comes to mind. I would consider that to be very much a social platform and very high risk, I guess, when it comes to collecting and profiting off of data from minors. I mean, I don't want to generalize, but I suspect
they're on Kick now. It's okay.
A lot of viewers on a platform like Twitch are young.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I don't know. I think this is BS. One, it's framed as a EU thing, not an individual country thing, and their argument is based on individual countries. And two, it specifically says online platform, and then their argument is mostly around places that do very little online. So their argument has no actual ground.
The thing too, though, is I do feel that some parts of this push are arbitrary. Why 45 million? Why that number? So what if I reach...
It's 10%.
Okay, why not 9%? If I reached 8% of the EU every month, is it? Am I not a very large online platform?
Every month, yeah.
Sounds very large to me.
Really,
so
you have to draw the line somewhere.
I mean, yeah, it's true. It's just, why do humans like numbers that are round?
It's easy to parse.
If we had a base 4 counting system, would the number have been 4% or 8? I don't know.
Maybe, probably 8. Yeah, because it's just the easier thing to parse, right? It's going to end up being a 5 or a 10.
Yeah, I guess I see their point, but I also see why this has to happen, and I see why they are not the same thing as Schwarz Group, but I also am sort of generally anti-conglomeratization. And so...
Which is why I think this is structured the way that it is.
Sure. Consolidation, that's the word I was looking for. It's very late. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
I'm generally
like after 11.
I'm generally sort of anti-consolidation as a whole.
Being a small platform that if we grew a ton, like if Floatplane grew a very, very large amount, there are certain things that we would have to do now that we are serving a certain amount of people and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
It gets harder. I appreciate that it doesn't start getting harder until you start growing to a minimum size. Because a lot of these things that they require you to do take a lot of work. Maybe not a lot of work when you're in Amazon, But when you're a float plane, adding 1 or 2 people onto staff is very substantial.
Yep.
So I appreciate that we are not subject to all of the things that you have to do if we were like the CBC or something.
Sure. But we're also so much smaller that I don't think anyone would make the argument that we're a very large
but
platform,
there's a
regardless
variety
of
of different levels. Like if you look at the
Sure.
App Store, the Apple App Store, there's that $1 million level. That's
Sure.
not really that high when you're talking about company finances. I'm not trying to be out of touch here, but it's company finances. That's a different thing. I don't have $1 million. But company finances, that's not that high. But just on the App Store, we're not touching that. Yeah, we're not touching that, which is nice. And when we do, okay, we have some more work to do, but hey, we're making that much. That's cool.
Yeah.
And there's these lines all the way up, right? So like they got to draw the line somewhere. Does 10% seem fair? Probably. I don't know. If 1 in 10 people use your thing in a country, that sounds like you're pretty big.
Yeah. Honestly, if 1 in 20 people in your country used it, that sounds very big too. In a month. Like that's okay. I feel like some people are kind of missing my point here a little bit when I say that I feel like the 10% is pretty arbitrary. That is monthly users.
That's a lot of people.
That's very large. I would make
But look
the
at the
argument
things that it caught.
I would make the argument that 1 in 20 is very large. I guess I'm having a hard time understanding exactly where the line is.
I wonder if it's because there's certain, and I don't know the population numbers. I'd have to look into this, but I wonder if it's because like, oh hey, there's a company that happens to be very frequently used in the 3 finger countries, so like Finland, Norway, Sweden.
Sure.
So it's used across those. I don't know the population numbers. Don't worry about it. And because it's used across those very heavily by like everyone, it just happens to cross 8% or something. It doesn't really seem right. That's not really what we're trying to target, you know? Like ubiquitous, but across a small amount of countries is not really what we're trying to target. So they shift it up or something like that. I could see some things causing the percentage to go up.
One thing I will take issue with in Amazon's argument is that they feel singled out. They are absolutely not singled out.
Yeah.
The definition of single is 1. You know, if someone was part of a throuple, okay, and described themselves as single, you would tell them to f*** off, right?
And I mean, this is extremely polyamorous. There's Google,
AliExpress.
Meta,
Well, no, I'm
AliExpress.
I'm talking just retailers, because they said they felt singled out as a retailer. But AliExpress, I would make the argument, is every bit as much a retailer, even though Alibaba Group is obviously has their fingers in all kinds of things. So does Amazon, right? And then this Zalando is apparently one that was caught up in this. Here we go.
And they're like everywhere.
Well, everywhere in Europe. I'd never heard of them before.
Wow, that's quite the photo shoot.
But these guys are very European, for one thing.
What's happening?
And
we're taking this to the British Museum.
And very much a retailer. Is this a video? What is even happening right now?
I think it's pausing the slideshow.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I liked that joke too much.
Okay. Anywho.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think it's defined very European. I will not. That picture though was very European.
Yeah.
Imagine not hearing about Zalando, common Canadian L. Why the hell would I have heard about it?
Yeah.
Do they even ship to Canada?
Do you have Ralph's?
Yeah. Where's your Payless shoes?
Yeah.
Where's our Payless shoes?
Where's your Canadian Tire?
Imagine not having heard of Canadian Tire.
They probably don't even have any Canadian Tire money.
I can't believe how much money rare Canadian Tire money is worth now. You know
Oh.
this is a thing, right?
No, but it totally makes sense.
Canadian Tire is a retailer that in Canada, obviously, you can get auto work done, but they have all kinds of like housewares and home improvement goods and like outdoor apparel and equipment and stuff like that. Anyway, they used to have this program where everything you spent, a percentage of it, they would there you go. They would give you a percentage of it back in Canadian Tire money, and everyone kind of treated this stuff as basically worthless. It was a way of them discounting without a significant redemption rate, I suspect. And at some point,
you'd like lose it because you have like 5-cent bills.
Yeah, at some point, the cost of producing this Canadian Tire money became not sensible anymore. And I think they still have the program, or at least they carried it on for a while.
It's probably digital now,
in a digital form of some sort, or didn't. I don't know. I don't care. The point is, Canadian Tire money, the physical kind, eventually went away, and because people are, I don't know, they love Canadian Tire, or because they meme it, or because I don't know. The point is, there are misprints and there are particularly rare pieces of Canadian Tire money that have become collector's items. So it's like anything that everyone throws away. It's like the things to collect are either the actually numbered, actually rare ones, or the commodity crap that literally everybody threw away. Like a coffee can. If you have a vintage coffee can, and everything today will be vintage someday, right? If you have a vintage coffee can, that will be worth something to someone someday, I promise you. So either collect garbage or stuff that is actually in limited supply. Never in between.
I'm looking on eBay for Canadian Tire money.
What you got?
$900 for rare Canadian Tire money, lot of 5 bills. Canadian Tire paper money. 75th anniversary rare, a sealed $100 Canadian Tire commemorative note for
that is
$2,000.
actually very rare, because you would have to spend a ton of money to get $100 in Canadian Tire money. It was a very low percentage rebate.
I mean, they had 2-cent bills or whatever they give you. So yeah, getting up to $200 would have to be crazy. Some corporate buying or something. There's not a ton of it available, but there definitely is some.
It's a thing. 7 uncirculated bills.
A lot of 5 rare 25-cent Canadian Tire money. Light purple design. What do you do with this stuff when you have it?
You collect it. You're a collector. Yeah. You show people your Canadian Tire money collection, and you hope they approve.
Wow, that's cool.
Man, I had a pretty sad moment a little while ago. You know that bubble hockey thing that I bought that I really love? I was hanging out on some pinball forum because they have an owner's thread for super checks. And I was just seeing what people are into, where they integrate it into their, their arcade room or whatever, or, what they use it for. So it's a combination of private owners and people who run arcades and like gaming houses.
Modifications or whatever else.
Anyway, so there's a lot of modifications. There's OEM modifications you can make where you can actually upgrade Super Checks to Super Checks Pro, which has like a Jumbotron and additional features and stuff like that. You can get replacement parts.
Like that Jumbotron or like...
No, like a better one with like video on and stuff.
Cool.
You can get replacement ice surfaces, new pucks, new players. You can get super customized players, where like there's people who will like put the right helmet for like that particular player on it and stuff, and like it gets pretty wild. Anyway, none of that is the point. The point is, I came across this video from this guy who tricked out a Super Checks in his house, and I was watching this video with the context of kind of reading a lot of posts in the owner's thread about how much they love the game and how hard it is to get any use out of their machine because it requires 2 people to play. And there's like this kind of sad forever alone vibe. And it's a pinballer forum, right? So a lot of them are probably also into pinball.
They're used to solo games.
Which is a 1-player game. So like, no problem. But Super Checks, I love this game. I love to play. I have nobody to play with. And I'm watching this video. The guy, like, man, I can't believe how modded this game is. All the players are custom, like super accurate.
Sorry, Jaden just posted in Floatplane chat. Customized players, try ours out on the beta site for Floatplane.
Oh hockey players, okay? So this thing is tricked out. He basically built dream teams for two teams, like completely dressed up the outside of it, removed the bubble. So it doesn't have a bubble anymore. It
like
has stanchions.
something?
Okay. New nets, new surface. The surface is not just brand new, but it's actually like texture, like not textured, but like digitally altered to look like it's scuffed up, like skated on. So
cool.
it's got like a cool like ice look on it. His Jumbotron not only has a custom full motion video, like instant replay that plays showing a goal. Like obviously it's not reflective of what happened on the ice, but he actually, I guess he works in the industry because he had a couple of commentators who work in the NHL, like who cast NHL games. He had them record custom like commentary for like near misses and for goals and stuff. Like it's wild. And then at the end of the video, he and his wife square off, each wearing jerseys to match the teams they're playing against. And you can just tell she gives exactly zero fucks whatsoever. Like he tries to kind of hype the game and she's like, you always win. And she's just 100% being super supportive and amazing. But as someone who has that wife, who is super supportive and amazing, but does not fucking care about my Super Checks game, I felt very personally attacked. Because I could definitely detect the vibe.
No one's beat him yet.
Yeah, I am currently unbeaten.
I've gotten really close more than once, but have definitely still not done it, which makes me sad.
Now I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to show this now.
Someone in Flowplane chat said we require Canadian badminton money. I was thinking it could be funny for an April Fool's to have like LTT store money, and like actually ship people like fake cash.
Okay, here I think this is the one. Here's this. Oh wait, no, this isn't the one. Nope, this is a different one. Hold on, now I feel like I have to find it. No, this is a different one. People get super into this thing, it turns out, though, which is wild to me. Oh man, no, this is crazy. This guy modded his to not be a bubble anymore. This is a different tabletop hockey, but he like put an arena around it. Like people get super into this game.
Holy.
To the point where even as someone who is a dum-dum and like bought one because lol, I really want to play it all the time, I don't get it. Yeah, no, I can't find this. Oh well, doesn't matter. Point is, that's a thing that definitely happened. Someone found the thing for me.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to you at all.
Oh wow.
This is it though.
Wow.
Like it's kind of cool.
I feel like the puck would still fly out.
Look at this custom like light thing, Jumbotron thing. I don't know what any of this is. I think he's a hypnotist or something. Anyway, the point is, this is amazing. The enthusiasm.
You can tell from the expression on her face. She's got the jersey on though. She's there. She's playing. She does the cheer thing. She's being cool. But yeah, you can tell. But she's being cool.
Yeah, she's being super cool about it. And
good partner.
Yeah. And then he like immediately starts destroying her.
That Jumbotron is amazing.
I know, right? Okay, hold on. We gotta watch a little bit.
Wow, yeah, and all the customized players. That's crazy.
Oh man.
His has like, if you see to the right
look
of
how
her,
look how like focused he is. Oh man, that's great. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
to the right of her right hand,
Yeah,
where the like boo button is on yours.
Yeah.
What is that? Why is there like 3 buttons?
not sure.
Oh my
Check
goodness.
this out though. Is that amazing or
Oh
what?
my goodness. And he's like dancing. Heck yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
it plays music. Yeah, the enthusiasm level mismatch though is was very amusing to me.
Oh man, that's great. Okay, back to EU and phones.
Colonel Sanders in Twitch chat says that's
Never mind.
accurate to the ads in that arena too. Yeah, he even had the
Oh, really?
ads along the boards done to match the arena.
Wow.
Absolutely wild.